Yeah, back on VOV Life Fires, I've been having conversations with Barbara Kirby, the founder of the Olive Branch, and here we are. We are going to be talking about the Queen's Award. Um, how did it feel? You being called to come and get the Queen's Award. Tell us what it is and how did it feel?
Well, the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service is a very prestigious award.
Oh,
I don't think any of us realised just what it meant until the assessor for Lancashire came, and he said it's the equivalent of the MBE for volunteers. Wow, wow. It was unexpected after so many years of being in existence. It was like receiving the royal stamp of approval.
Wow, that's great.
It was amazing, and I'll never. I just think it was an accolade. You know, it recognised the vision of the Olive Branch to reach out to people who were in distress or crisis with Jesus' love. In fact, they have a citation which goes with it, you know, when you're presented with the award. And we went down to Preston, to County Hall, to receive the award. And the citation finished by saying something like, the Olive Branch Faith in Action is an excellent example of faith in action, Christian faith in action. I thought that was really significant. When we received the award, I think there were seven different charities or voluntary organisations in Lancashire which received the award at the same time. We were the only charity that was openly Christian, and that was actually mentioned in the, you know, the public statement, if you like. And I thought that was amazing.
Wow.
The award was quite heavy.
I
can remember. It was heavy, so it was a weighty award. We got a little badge, and I meant to bring it down, a little badge, which you know said Queen's Award for Voluntary Service, a very nice badge, which I think we can wear with some pride.
Wow, that's good.
Because it was an acknowledgement of what we do and what we hope to do as well for the future. And it was also an acknowledgement that we do this because of Jesus. We do this because of our faith. You know, that's what gets us up in the morning. That's what drives us forward. That's what gives us the hope that we can make a difference to people's lives and circumstances. You don't just have 1 year you get the award presented, you know. So we had it was during the COVID times. So after we had the award, we had a very nice cardboard box, and in it was boxed up an afternoon tea with lovely little, you know, cream cakes and dainty little sandwiches. And we all sat at individual tables and enjoyed this with a drink. The Lord Lieutenant of Lancashire, Lord Shuttleworth, presented the award to us. And he remembered having visited us years and years ago at Westbourne Road, where I think we'd approached the Duchy charitable arm for a grant towards our work, and he came along just to see who we were, you know, and he remembered that. He's a very impressive man. He's very tall and very, you know, military bearing, and he was in his uniform, I suppose, as the Lord Lieutenant, so it was very, very impressive. He's, you know, he towered above some of the volunteers who went. So it was just, yes, it was wonderful. But the following year, you get an invitation to the garden party.
Wow.
So Buckingham Palace in the garden, May this year, Mary, who is one of the longest serving volunteers at the Olive Branch, and myself went down to London to see the Queen. Although we didn't see the Queen, we saw the, I think it was the Duchess of, the then Duchess of Cambridge. Now the Princess of Wales, Catherine, and the Prince Edward, the Queen's son. And this is God. There were crowds and crowds of people. It was a wonderful day. It was the only time this year that it didn't rain on the garden party days. So we were very fortunate. We were miles away from anything that was happening. But there were these people, these very tall men dressed in top hats and, mourning tails and things like that. And I thought, ask one of them, what are you? And I can't remember what he said. That they've got a gentleman usher. They've got a special term for them. And I think in the olden days, they would have protected the Queen or protected the monarch. But they now officiated at these occasions and just sort of talked to the crowd and just made sure everything was going. So I was asking him who he was and what he did, and then he was asking us who we represented. So I just spoke a little bit about what we were here for the Olive Branch, and it was a Christian charity and everything. And he went away, and about 5 minutes later came back and he said, would you like to speak to Prince Edward? Yes, wow. I know. You were absolutely astounded. So was I. Mary didn't, but I thought, no, we have to do this. So we went out, and it was very, very well organised. And he just said, you'll first of all see the Lord Chamberlain, this really tall man again, all in the official dress. And then the next minute I turned, and this man was standing within, closer than you are, actually.
Wow.
I thought, oh, that's Prince Edward.
Wow.
We had 2-3 minutes conversation, very natural, like talking to anybody. He made us feel at ease, and he asked questions. He sounded interested, and then he went on. So that was our claim to fame.
That's good.
It was worth going, and we had a lovely tea. There was a
good.
lovely afternoon tea for us as well. So
that's good. That felt a very good experience. And as we close, Barbara, I really believe you have a message for the church. You've been involved. Olive Branch has been involved in outreach within the city of Lancaster, and a lot of churches are part of the Olive Branch, supporting, partnering, and you've been part of the church in the community. What message, looking at things, especially after the pandemic, the lockdown, and the economy, the way things are in the climate now, what message do you have of the church?
Well, for me, it's simply open the door wide and go out into the world. This was the commission that Jesus gave us. He did say, take this message to the world and tell the world about it. I don't think we can be behind closed doors anymore. I think we have to open those doors wide, to go out, both to go out and to bring in as well. But mainly to go out, because I think people need to see you. You need to be visible. You need to begin to show Jesus. Not just to the people in the church who already know Jesus, or most of them will, but to the people outside who do not know him. And maybe now they have heard nothing about Jesus, because people are not brought up with the stories of Jesus as I was as a young child growing up. Even though we didn't go to church, at school, I heard the stories of Jesus. I had an illustrated children's Bible when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And I used to read the stories, and my dad used to read the stories to me. So I had an introduction to Jesus. I had an introduction to God's people and the history of the people. So I had the door was already open, if you like. But now a lot of people don't know that Jesus is real. They don't believe in God. My husband, for instance, I can remember once saying, if there's a God, why does the suffering happen in the world? Why do these awful things happen? If there's a loving God, why does this happen? And I think this is the question that people are asking at this time.
Yeah.
Why are these awful things happening? Why are people dying? Why are there wars? Why is there sickness and disease? Why have we had this diagnosis of cancer? Why did my husband die? Why did my wife die? Why did my child die in that accident?
Thank you very much for
yes.
for your time, Barbara. It's been an amazing time.